Hi guys, I'm back yet again. Another thing you can find in your packet is I have two PowerPoints, one on story elements and then one over our fairy tale, Jack and the Beanstalk. Okay, behind me is a plot diagram. Within your packet you have a worksheet and it's going to ask you to label the plot diagram. Now I'm going to kind of go through this now. That way, whenever you guys are ready to do it, you can either revert to the YouTube video on the plot diagram, or you can use your story elements PowerPoint to help you identify and label the different parts of our plot diagram, okay? I'm not going to read through the PowerPoints. Have your family members read it through if you need help with it. It just kind of goes over the different story elements that are involved in a story, you know, like your characters, setting, problem, conflict, solution, resolution, and then it goes into the plot structure, like the beginning of a story, the middle, and the end, and then that's where you have your different parts of your plot diagram, okay? Now on this story elements PowerPoint, I do have a picture that's listed that identifies each section of this plot diagram, but it also goes more into detail per slide, okay? So, on our plot diagram, down here, this is your introduction. This is where your setting and your characters are introduced. Remember our lovely little idea and our helpful hint? If it's a thumbs up, that is our protagonist. That's our hero. That's the good guys. We're rooting for them. If we have our thumbs down, that's our antagonist, the opposite of our protagonist. That's the villain, the bad guy. Some might say that's our criminal, okay? So our introduction is where everything is introduced. It's like whenever you meet somebody, well, before this quarantine of 2020, you would shake hands like, hi, my name is so-and-so, okay? That's when you're introducing things. So this is our introduction. Okay, this is where you have your setting and your characters. Some problems are also probably identified in this introduction. For example, Jack and the Beanstalk. It talks about how Jack and his mother were very, very poor. They didn't have any food. That's stated in your introduction, okay? Now, as you go up this lovely mountain or like a roller coaster, the suspense is building. This is called our rising action. The rising action are all of our little events leading up to that big thing, leading up to the peak, leading up to this climax. The climax of the story is that turning point of the story, that big conflict, that big fight, okay? So up here we have climax, okay? After the climax, it's now going downhill, okay? This is how our problem is solved, okay? So this is our falling action. This is how our problem is solved, how things are resolved and things like that, okay? As we're falling, we're now plateauing out. This is our conclusion. That's your happily ever after, guys, okay? Conclusion. Happily ever after, okay? Now, I know you guys have been reading Jack and the Beanstalk with the packet. The story I sent you before spring break, also included in your packet, and we're going to go over this in a minute, is another story that I'm actually going to read, not with the video, just more audio. Along with that is a PowerPoint on Jack and the Beanstalk, okay? This is going to help you work on our sequencing. There's also sequencing cards that you're going to have to cut out and sort through and put them in order on another piece of paper. This PowerPoint is going to help you do that. It's also going to help you with your retelling. Now on your retell, I did ask your parents to record you retelling your story, okay? On this PowerPoint of Jack and the Beanstalk, it talks about retelling a story, okay? It's kind of hard to read, so I'm probably going to create another video about the different key points that you need to hit when you are retelling a story. Another thing included is another worksheet, a comprehension worksheet. This worksheet is going to be different than the other ones because I'm going to have you work on using the T approach. Remember the star, okay? So The STAR approach, it talks about S, slowly think of the question. T, take the question words and put them back into your answer. A, add describing words and details. And R, review your answer. I will make a video about this momentarily. That way you have more information and more resources for you, okay? So, give me a minute. Bye.